Hi, everyone. Dr. Greg here. Great to see you for another session. Thank you so much for joining me. This one's going to be fun. We're going to talk about breath work. Obviously, there's a little bit of science up front just to make sure that we ground ourselves really, really well. But after that, we're just going to practice a bunch of stuff. So kick back, relax, grab some water or a tea, whatever you've got going, maybe coffee if you've got that going on, and we'll dig right into this. So what I want to begin with is really just grounding ourselves in the reason right now why breathwork can be so incredibly valuable for us. And the reason why really is that it's a foundational tool for helping us to regulate our emotions in an era when so many people are feeling like this. This is my son, Adam. And as you can see, he's just not feeling it right now. And he senses things quite deeply. And as a result, he struggles sometimes to feel great, and he sees the world the way that it is. And it can be challenging sometimes. So for us, understanding why we all feel this way sometimes, it's critical to realize that our senses gather information from the environment. And I'm going to walk you through the steps of the stress pathway so that you can see how all of this works and how breathwork fits into helping us to navigate this. So using Adam again as an analogy, if you will, Adam and I love to go out and do things like mountain biking. So here is Adam right before we're about to take the chairlift up and do some mountain biking, because that is one of the ways in which we are learning how to enter into a flow state, to manage fear, to manage anxiety, to regulate our emotions in order to be able to perform in the world. I love practical, real world ways of doing this. That is what we are doing here. And if you look at his eyes, he's like, not quite sure about this, Dad. And what is happening right there is that his amygdala, a structure inside the brain, is processing all of that information that just arrived in through the eyes and the ears, and it is determining whether or not this is a threat based upon our previous experience. That then leads to us being able to make decisions. The analogy here being, you can see that there's 5620, the blue run, a little bit harder. Salad fingers, which is the green run, a little bit easier, right? Based upon our previous experience, the assessment of the amygdala as to the degree of the threat present, that then informs our decision about what we are going to do and the cascade of events that happens afterwards. So let's say we take 5620, the harder one, or the one that is more challenging to us, the one that we perceive to be as a threat. A challenge. And by the way, the analogy is a project at work, a conversation at home, right? Like we're just using mountain biking as an analogy for us. Then what happens is the hypothalamus inside your brain activates your sympathetic nervous system, your fight or flight nervous system, and shoots information down through the spinal cord to get you ready for whatever it is that you have to do next. In this case, it's mountain biking, but it could be a presentation, it could be a meeting, it could be a block of work, it could be exercise, it could be playing music, it could be teaching, it could be walking into a meeting, whatever, right? Like where the sympathetic nervous system is getting us activated to enable us to be able to do what we need to do at the highest level. The next step of this is that the sympathetic nervous system activates your adrenal glands, and that pumps you full of adrenaline, that sensation that you have of like, oh my gosh, this is about to happen, like that little edginess that we get. Your adrenal glands then release cortisol and adrenaline, two hormones that I'm sure that you've heard of. You've felt that stress response, your heart pounding in your chest, breathing a little bit harder, cold, clammy hands, dry mouth, right? Like we're just about to go. And that's actually what enables us to be able to perform at a high level. It sharpens our focus. It makes us a little bit stronger. It enables us to do what we need to do at the highest level, creating the opportunity for moments like this when we actually feel good. Now, the amazing thing about adrenaline and cortisol is that they act on your DNA to spark adaptation if you rest and recover afterwards. The mistake that a lot of us make right now is that when we're stressed, we have this adrenaline and cortisol, and that gets us ready to go, and then we're stressed again and again and again. By taking breaks, by pulling ourselves back out of the stress zone down into a more rest, recover, and regenerate zone, that's what enables us to be able to turn stress into a spark for growth via our DNA. And the easiest way for us to do that is just simply to take a few breaths here and there. And the magic about that is that it helps us to slow down in order to be able to speed up. It helps us to release stress, even if it's one single breath. Let's dive into it. Let's talk a little bit about this concept of breath work now. And again, as usual, drop questions into the chat and the Q&A. Both are open right now. So let's say we're breathing. That air goes into your lungs. It passes into your bloodstream. That beautiful oxygen gets into your blood. Carbon dioxide gets pulled out of your blood and exhales. So we inhale oxygen, exhale CO2. That oxygenated blood goes to your heart, which then pumps that blood throughout your entire body. And then it arrives at your mitochondria, and your mitochondria, present in your brain, in your nerves, in your muscles, in your digestive tract, in your skin, take that oxygen, break down the foods that we eat in order to create energy. They use oxygen to create energy. The oxygen from breathing gets used to create energy, to fuel your muscles, to fuel your brain. And that's awesome because we know we all need a little bit more energy these days because the world is challenging. We have a lot of things that we need to do. We're high performers. We want to do really, really well within that magical zone of high performance that enables us to be calm, cool, and collected and relaxing in between bouts of stress, which what breath work gives us. So the first style of breathing that I want to teach you today is the breath of calm. What this does, if we consider the ideal performance state concept, where you have performance on the y-axis and activation on the x-axis, if we look bottom left down here, you will see that basically this zone, we are not activated, we're bored, we're tired, we're not motivated. As a result, our performance is not that good. Over here on this end of the spectrum, we are highly activated, nervous, scared, tense, anxious, fearful. Again, performance is not very good. Somewhere in the middle, you can see we are in that ideal performance zone, the effective, optimum, energized zone. And what breathwork does is it pulls us out of the stress zone back into the high performance zone. So the first tactic that I have for you is the breath of calm, which accomplishes moving you in the direction of the arrow that I have below us right here. So let's just imagine for a moment that it's your birthday, and in your culture, in your family, you are presented with a birthday cake, and we take a deep breath and we blow out all of the candles after making a wish. So we'll just do that together right now because it's kind of fun. Let's just imagine that your family and your friends have just had a beautiful singing thing. They've sung you happy birthday. You are 29 years old, not 30. You're 39, not 40, right? Like you're just in a great mood. You're like, woohoo, this is awesome. And we take a deep breath to blow out the candles. That's the breath of calm. It works all the time, even when you're not blowing out the candles on a birthday candle, on the birthday candles on your cake. Let's try it one more time. Nice deep breath in. The magic of this long, slow exhale is so cool. What happens if we consider the way that the brain works is that we have two specific regions of the brain. The green section is the area called your medulla, and in there are neurons that control your breathing. The red area that I've highlighted here is one of the regions that controls stress. They are joined together. When we do these long, slow, deep exhales, we are sending signals to the stress center of the brain. Everything's okay. You're safe. It's okay to be calm. And it shuts down all of that electrical activity shooting down into your spinal cord. It brings calm to the moment within the chaos. So let's try that one more time. Just set yourself up nice and tall, shoulders down, hands relaxed, nice deep breath in. That's it. Now, it doesn't need to be, this big, huge mouth breath. You can do it through your nose as well. You can do this at the table. You can do this in a meeting. You can do this while you're commuting. You can do this during a conversation. I do this often right before I'm about to go on stage to present. I do a lot of television interviews right before I'm about to go live and all the lights come on. That's a great time to do this as well. This is also a very powerful tool to use if you're in a conversation that's difficult and you just want to stay regulated in order for you to be able to stay calm, cool, and collected in difficult circumstances. The breath of calm is super powerful and one of the most amazing things that you can use that really helps you to stay calm, cool, and collected in an era of tension, nervousness, stress, and anxiety. All right, that's tactic number one. The next one I want to show you is the physiological sigh. This one is awesome. It also pushes you back out of the tension zone into your high performance, ideal performance state. The way this one works, again, using children as our examples, is that kids will naturally do this. If you notice, they will often just do a nice deep sigh. It's almost exactly like the birthday candle breath, just a little bit deeper, a little bit more deliberate, and a little bit more really letting go when it happens. Now, there's a little hack to this. The micro hack is this. At the end of the inhale, we take an extra couple sips and then exhale. So let's try that together. Nice deep breath in. Extra sip. This is a great one right before crossing a threshold into your home, into a meeting, getting into the car at the end of the day, about to walk into the gym, in between sets in the gym, during a yoga class. There's so many amazing spots, but the physiological sigh, the deep breath in, extra sip, and then a big, huge exhale is so powerful. You know what's wild right now? I'm actually having a yawn reflex that I'm trying to suppress. So when we do this breath work, oxygen floods through our body and we blow off all of our CO2, and the higher oxygen, lower carbon dioxide often triggers a yawn reflex. I bet you're all feeling it now too, because I mentioned it. Now you're definitely doing it because I did one, and these are contagious. So it's really interesting that even in demonstrating this for you today, it is altering my physiology, which is really, really cool. Shifting me into a more relaxed, more calm, more chill state. So very cool. Next one that I want to show you, rolling ourselves through our time together, is box breathing. Now, this one's a little bit more advanced. This one, in fact, is really powerful because this is the type of breathing that is used by first responders as they are entering into a situation. This is used by SWAT teams, special forces, soldiers, like anyone that's in a very, very tense environment that needs to be able to stay regulated as they are performing. This tactic is absolutely incredible. And what this does is, again, keeps pulling you back from this tense, overloaded state back into your ideal performance state. And the way that it works is like this. Simply, we take a breath in for 4 seconds, hold, out, and hold. In for 4, 3, 4, hold for 4, 2, 3, 4, out for 4, 2, 3, 4, and hold for 4, 2, 3, and 4. This keeps you breathing. It keeps oxygenating you. It keeps CO2 from building up. And it is an incredible tool to use if you're in a stressful environment that you cannot get out of. Stuck in traffic, in a difficult meeting. I often use this. I'm in Toronto, Canada. We have a subway. I go, work on the subway sometimes. Super crowded, really uncomfortable. In that situation, I would definitely use this. Box breathing is an incredible tool to stay regulated in a stressful environment that you cannot get out of. So think about this the next time that you're in that and be like, I'm just going to try this box breathing thing. Don't use your mouth. You can just go through your nose. It's super powerful. And it actually enables you to stay mentally engaged while you're experiencing some significant challenges and stress. So I hope that that's helpful. There's a couple more that I want to get to here as well. I'm going to jump ahead just to the breath of fire. Now, the breath of fire is an activating type of breath work. It actually does the opposite. It sparks you, it lifts you up. And sometimes we all need a little bit more energy. So let's say you're starting your day and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm not sure if I can do this today. Here we go. What I would like you to consider is that there are types of breath work that actually increase your energy levels, increase the heat inside your body, activate all of your systems. I use this specifically when I do cold water immersion, which I do most of the winter in the lake near my house. I get into the water every single morning as the sun gets up, and I do this breath work in order to be able to stay in the water a little bit longer. Now, the way that this works, by the way, you don't need to be in ice water to do this. You can do this anywhere, is that you take a deep breath in and you exhale against a closed glottis. So it sounds like this. And so we can do this again together. Deep breath in. Create a little bit of resistance here. You're just exhaling against a little bit of pressure. You can also exhale against pursed lips. So try one more. We're just exhaling against that pressure. Deep breath in. Create some resistance either in your lips or in your throat if you can do that, and just generate that pressure. Doing about 10 of these will increase the energy levels, the oxygen levels will drive oxygen into your bloodstream. It will increase circulation. It will bring your brain to life. You will often see athletes do this in and before competition. For the athletes, this is the power exhale. It sparks them up, increases their energy levels, increases power. Again, leveraging this connection, but instead of calming you down with slow breaths, what we're doing is we're doing powerful, strong exhales. If you look at world-class performers in sports, they do this right at the moment of impact. They do this right before they're about to compete. They do this to spark their energy, to increase their ability to perform. So the next time that you are going into an event and you're like, man, I need some more energy here. I need something to bring me to life. Just a little bit of that. Sounds like you're growling. Don't do this in public, obviously. If you have an office, if you have a car, if you have something like that you can get out and just like spark yourself a little bit, this is absolutely magic for elevating that ability to do what you need to do at the highest possible level and to perform at world-class levels. All right, so here's what we've covered so far in this session. We spoke about breathing. We talked about stress. Remember, the magic of stress is that it enables you to perform, but we really need to calm ourselves down, bring ourselves back into the ideal performance state in order for us to grow. The challenge is that we need to overcome feeling like this in order to be able to do that. Similarly, there are times when you're going to need to be more energized in order for you to be able to make the right decision and to perform at the highest possible level, keeping yourself in the ideal performance state so that you can achieve what you want to achieve in your life. Breathwork enables us to do both of those things, calming you down and firing you up. I love this quote from Maya Angelou, just to close us out here. Life is not measured by the number of breaths that we take, but by the moments that take your breath away. Breath is a powerful source of life. And although it's done automatically without thinking about it, when we deliberately change it, we can increase our energy levels and decrease our stress levels, bringing us back into that ideal performance state. Now, there are some apps that can help you with this. If you have an Apple Watch, the Breathe app on your Apple Watch is fantastic. It just guides you through a minute of deep breathing. It's super cool. If you are on Android, you can also use the Breathe app on G Play. You just breathe along with this little cycle here and guides you through that as well. And Othership has a great app here. I'm going to drop this into the chat so you can see it. But Othership has these cool and cool breathworks every morning. And what they do is they post a couple of, there's a free version and a paid version. You don't need the paid version. In the free version, you can see that there's an up breath, which is a breathing pattern for about 5 minutes that increases your energy. And there's a down breath as well, which calms you down. So you can experiment with this to learn about these different tactics and these different strategies to enable you to be able to apply this in your life. If you want to dig really deep, I've got an entire chapter on breathwork in Powerhouse. So if you wanted to read a lot about this, that is the place in order to do that. And if you have any other questions about what we're doing, everything I'm speaking about is here in the performance page on my website. So I hope that that's helpful. Breathwork is super powerful. It's an amazing stress reduction technique. It's an incredible energy producing technique, and definitely something that we can all leverage in order to be able to move forward. So I hope that's helpful, everyone. If you have any questions, drop me questions through the website. Feel free to ping me anytime using the contact page, and I will get back to you directly. Thank you for being part of this program and this initiative. Love that you're all here, investing time in yourselves. You're all amazing, and I really appreciate your attention and energy. That's it for this video. We'll see you in the next one. Send me questions via the website. We'll keep on supporting all of you as we move through all of this content. All the best, everyone. Have a great week. We'll see you in the next one.